If you want to be a force at the kitchen line, you need to have absolutely rock solid counterattack. So when someone speeds up at you, you have to have a way of punishing them for attacking you. So today, I'm gonna teach you one of the best backhand counterattacks, the two-handed backhand volley. So that way you can punish your opponents when they attack your backhand, especially when they attack off your body. Two-handed backhand counterattack is when I hit a two-handed backhand volley against somebody's speed up. So if somebody speeds the ball up at me to go on offense, and I counter it with two hands. A couple important things to keep in mind for this. First of all, we need to make sure that we're holding the paddle correctly. So we need to make sure we have the right grip. On my bottom hand, I'm gonna be in continental. So that's where if I make a check mark with my finger and just run it down the edge of the paddle, all the way down and I grab, that's gonna bring me right to the proper grip. I'm gonna have my dominant hand on the bottom. For me, I'm a righty, so that's gonna be my right hand. And then my left hand goes right on top in an Eastern grip, where I just hold the paddle up, put my palm to the paddle, and just slap it on there. The key here is that my fingers are touching, but they're not overlapping. So what I wanna try to avoid is this. There are some very high-level players that do this, but it's hard to get optimal power this way. So I recommend that you keep your hands apart, but your fingers can be touching. If you don't have enough room, you can always choke up with your left hand. So I can put one or even two fingers up on the paddle face in order to give me more room. Some paddles don't have super long handles, so this is really common to create that room for two hands. From here, the next thing that I want to keep in mind is that I can't hit a two-handed backhand in my body. So when the ball comes directly at me, that has to be one hand. Nobody has only a two-handed backhand. Some people have only one-handed backhands, but I can't name anyone that never hits a one-handed backhand and only hits a two-handed backhand. The reason for that is we can't defend our body by doing this. You guys all know when someone speeds up at the body, it has to be a backhand. This is not effective, it's super uncomfortable. So it's the same thing. A two-handed backhand is basically a lefty forehand, so I wouldn't do that when someone speeds up my body. So I have to just make sure I take that left hand off. So whenever the ball comes right into my chest, I have to remove my left hand and just go into a one-handed backhand punch volley, just like this. So that's the first thing we gotta keep in mind. We're gonna save our two-handed backhands for when the ball comes off to our non-dominant side. So I'm gonna draw a line. For me, I'm a righty, so at my left shoulder, and that's where my two-handed backhand can come into play. Once I hit that line at my left shoulder, I can use my two-hander, and I can use it all the way out to over here when I'm stretched. So if I have the ball come all the way off to my left, I'm gonna be able to activate my two-handed backhand. But again, anything in the body, we're just gonna go one hand. Now, when it comes to our technique, the first key is to make sure that we're keeping everything out in front. So one of the biggest errors I see with the two-handed backhand counter is taking this huge backswing. And sometimes if you know for a fact where the ball's coming, for example, if your Annalie Waters loading up on the right side of the court, just getting ready to pound anything that comes at her backhand because she knows it's coming there, that's one thing. But for the most part, we want to stay a little bit more out in front so that way we have enough time to react and to load up for the ball. If I come back here, I'm wasting so much time bringing the paddle forward that I'm going to be late. So I have to make sure that I keep everything out in front. So the second I recognize it's coming to my backhand, I'm just gonna turn right here and bring it back to about 6 inches in front of my shoulder. And from there, I'm gonna push forward. All this is a push back into my ready position. So watch how when I hit this counter, everything stays out in front and I swing straight through back into my ready position. I'm gonna try to avoid taking a massive follow through. And I'm also gonna make sure that this right elbow moves with my paddle up to my shoulder. So when I swing, I'm not gonna come to here. I'm gonna get that right elbow out of the way, coming right back in my ready position with my both elbows flared out right to here. The next thing we wanna keep in mind is where's the ball coming from when I'm hitting this counter. When the ball is coming cross court and I'm on the right side, that is going to be one of my best opportunities to use this counter. Most of the time, we're not gonna get a speed up that's hard cross court so that on the right side, my opponent's speeding up cross court into my forehand. It's a very low percentage shot. We're not gonna see it a lot. So when the ball is being dinked diagonally from me and I'm on the right, I wanna make sure I'm covering the middle with that two-handed backhand. My partner's got the line, and pretty much anything over here to my left is gonna be my backhand. It's gonna be very difficult, especially if my opponent's speeding up a forehand, for her to get it all the way out here. So I can sit right there on that backhand. So when I'm dinking the ball over that way, I can lean over with my paddle to set myself up for my backhand and then get ready to counter. So I'm keeping that ready position leaning a little bit towards my backhand side, and I'm keeping 2 hands on the paddle, so that way I know if the ball comes through the middle, that's gonna be my opportunity to come through. And then I'm always gonna counter that ball down the line, because that's how I can maximize my swing pattern. When I'm swinging with a 2-handed backhand, naturally I'm coming across my body, so the easiest target for me to really blast the ball at my opponents is to go straight ahead. That's just gonna follow my natural swing path.